are. Like you and I have met a couple of times.
We did.
You know, I've seen your rig, and this is quite desirable just because of what it is. And we are here at your shop, actually, here on the peninsula in California.
Right.
Why don't you tell us first a little bit about what you personally do, and then we'll start talking about the rig, how those two things mesh. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so in general, I'm an aerospace engineer that hasn't been working on aerospace for probably 20 years. We at the shop make very high-end joysticks for commercial and military applications. And the place is very convenient to work on cars.
So that's where you built this.
Right. We have 5 Land Cruisers in the family.
Break down for us the year, make, model, engine. Like, tell us that.
Okay, so the original car is a 93.
Yep.
No lockers. The engine itself is a 1HDFT 24-valve 4.2-liter Toyota turbo diesel. It came with a 5-speed, so the conversion on the car was done. The history of the engine, it came from the Land Cruiser that marked the waypoints for the Paris-Dakar race, sold to a guy in Texas, then went to a shop in Missouri, and 2 years later I bought it. I sent the engine to Stockton to Valley Hybrids. They specialize in diesel conversions for Land Cruisers, and this one is the latest one that we converted to a diesel. It took about 2 years to find the engine. The car actually, we purchased it in 1998, so we had it for 21 years. I bought it for my wife when she was gone. When I picked her up with the airport with this car, she didn't speak with me for 2 months. And
it was for her?
For her. Yeah. It was parked here in the back for about 3 years. The garbage truck hit it and broke the taillight and the tailgate. And at one point I said, okay, we're gonna spend some money now and make it a decent car, because Tali and I like to travel. We've been doing this for many years. We have been, probably for 30 years, we've been doing about 10 years of car. We didn't call it overlanding. We just stuffed the 4 kids in the car and drive it to the Arctic Circle and Alaska and back with tents. And then for 10 years or 9 years, we did 7-day trips, private whitewater rafting. And the last 10 years, we've been backpacking in the Sierras, Tali and I. So the design of this car is basically a combination of these 3 experiences. Compact. Instead of taking an RV and scaling it down, we took a backpack and scaled it up.
So that is an awesome philosophy right there. So from backpacking to this, it's
luxury. Yeah, we're flying first class here.
Tell me a little bit about your just your refrigeration and cooling philosophy from your whitewater rafting days. How you think about it and how you do it.
We pack the freezers. They have 3 inches of ice on the bottom. At night when it's cold, you first look at the maps where the food is. You open the freezers about 4 inches. You pull all the food out and you close the freezers.
Right.
So the access to refrigeration, in our opinion, is very limited. You need, before you cook, you know what you need. You open the refrigerator, you pull it out, and you start cooking. And you close the fridge. So that was part of the design that we did for this vehicle. But the key was, it's a yacht fridge, so the compressor is not part of the fridge. It's good for us. Everyone builds or designs or buys what's convenient for them. Some people prefer to drive in an F350 with a camper shell. We like to drive very compact. The design itself took us probably a few months, and I've watched probably 200 YouTube videos, including yours. And it took a while just to find the equipment that we want to fit in there. I actually wrote a blog on the Overland Bound on the rig thread, which describes this build with a link to all the photos that we did. We did this research, then Tali did the CAD design. It was kind of hard to get all the round parts, and so we figured it's not very accurate. So I built a plywood mock-up just to see that the fridge and the kitchen fits. So the whole rig, the back, is built from sheet metal.
This is it. Sheet metal.
Aluminum, 0.1 inch thick, and square inch tubing.
So when I saw this, I thought, you know what? That is an extremely efficient build. It's not 1 inch tubing.
Right.
It's designed to support the weight you need to support. It's
And
very-
more, and more. Right.
Let's talk a little bit about the rig. I'm gonna kind of breeze over your bumper, the lighting, and things of that nature. What winch did you go through?
Just
with this?
worn.
It's a worn.
Right, standard. The bumper itself is 4x4 labs,
Yes.
both front and rear.
Okay.
And I bought the kits. I didn't buy the bumpers, so I welded them, and they are located in Grass Valley. Amazing shop.
Great.
They specialize in Toyota, and most of the stuff is for 80 series.
Very nice. You have this protective
Right, this is-
filter. It's just an additional filter, right?
Well,
basically,
this is from Alaska.
Uh-huh.
Every night this would get clogged with mosquitoes. You wash it and you get good clearing. And also the grill is made in Flagstaff. This is a metal grill. It's a Land Cruiser grills in Flagstaff.
Right. Easier to clean this than your radiator.
Right. And also if a branch goes through, it won't break the plastic and go through the... The nice thing about this engine, that from 95 to 98, this engine was installed on the 80 series. So the front engine mounts fit precisely on the frame. And then I got rid of about 200 wires in the harness of the engine. There's no computers except for the lockers, which we can go through that later. So I removed everything, all the computers, all the emission, and then the vehicle went to the DMV and got registered as a diesel.
So it is registered in California
as a diesel.
As a diesel.
Right. So we pulled the 2 rows of seats. I built 3 cabinets. One is the kitchen, one is the bench behind the driver's seat, and one is the bench on the left side that opens to a twin bed. It's all storage, but the key was that it bolts on where the seats were. So I can pull that out in an hour or so. The hardest part is the plumbing for the sink and the shower. It has a shower.
That's a highlight. I don't have a shower.
So the spare is sitting on the back.
Yeah.
I don't need an extended tank because I get between 20 and 26 miles a gallon with 25 gallons. That's
fantastic.
If you get stuck with this and a 5-gallon spare, you deserve it. Yeah. and so I used the space where the spare was. I built 2 tanks from 8-inch PVC pipes, and they hold 9 gallons each, one cold, one hot. The rear heater in the car was pulled out, and I used the plumbing for a heat exchange. So there's a circulating pump that you turn on with a thermostat when the engine is running, and the heater is set to hot, and it circulates water through that, from the radiator, through that heat exchange, and then the circulating pump circulates the hot water. In 20 minutes, we have 9 gallons at 55 degrees Celsius, which is 150.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and then the compressor on board has a 1-gallon tank. There's a pressure reducer to the water tanks so the water actually can push up. Because if we push 100 psi, it's going to blow all the plumbing. Right.
So you have the convertible bed, which is storage, and you also have a sink setup on the inside.
So the cabinet on the right,
Yeah.
as you open the back, the first thing is a fridge. Then next to it is a sink. It's a Kohler sink,
Yep.
deep, 6 inches deep. The plumbing goes to a hose behind the rear right wheel, and we have a bucket. We usually put a bucket in there so we don't have a puddle.
For gray water.
Right, right.
Things of that nature.
And then next to it is a set of drawers,
Yep.
and then a latch for stuff. And under the sink also a latch for all the pots and pans and so on. The drawers are made from a flight attendant cart. So they're really light aluminum, and I put long extensions on soft close, and they never open. And
Yeah.
so there's 3 drawers.
Did you just go down to the jet airliner?
No, Amazon. I'm serious.
Amazon.
They even wanted me to write a review. And I said, well, in Death Valley, they worked great.
That is awesome. Okay. What else should we know about the inside there? About your build on the inside? Inverter power.
Yeah, we have
Whatever
a
you'd like to tell us.
1 kilowatt inverter. There's I bought a mesh awning that is like 20 feet by 10 feet, and we sewed from it all the pockets. And this is from rafting. One more thing I added is on the hatch in the back, I cut the 2 spaces, and there is 2 covers from food grade stainless, so we could cook on it, but you can open it and we store all the kitchen stuff in there. Saran wrap, aluminum foil, and then...
And you cook, where do you cook?
So I had to find a stove that would fit here, and I couldn't. There was nothing that would fit exactly that space. So I bought on Amazon for $15 the small camping stoves that have the bottle, the little bottle on them. And I machined an attachment so they both attach to that pipe, brass pipe, and that brass pipe hooks to a 1-pound green canister. We have 2 batteries. One is just to support the kitchen. I did some calculation, and that fridge can run about 5 days without charging it.
Great.
It can charge either from the alternator, 200 amps alternator, or I can disconnect if we leave the car unattended and I want the fridge to run, then I hook the solar panel.
Your boxes up top. What do you have in your boxes up top?
So the right side is our pantry. We keep all the dry food, coffee, cans. One thing we do when we backpack, we dehydrate a lot of food. Even bolognese sauce, we dehydrate. Yeah. So I have a few packs there just for emergency and stuff. Yep. And on the left side is the car survival. It's all the recovery gear, and then all the tools that I need to take this engine out if I need to.
Yeah.
And hoses and brake lines and anything that I...
Right.
So that's the car recovery. The other one is our recovery.
Right. When you guys pull up to a campsite, from the moment you set your emergency brake to the moment you are set up and you feel like you're base camped, you're ready to sit in a chair, how long does it take you to set up your
Does that include cooking the food?
No, just like,
because
hey, open it up.
I don't compromise on the food. I mean, I have Chilean sea bass with sauce or...
Right on.
Setting up the bed is probably 5 minutes. It's all basically steel pipes that slide out.
Yep.
But 5-6 minutes.
That's really nice.
We open the bed, we roll the mattress, and we have a down comforter and 2 pillows, and we go to sleep. Yeah. It's a twin bed, so it's very cozy.
Mm-hmm. That's fine, right?
That's perfect. Just perfect.
Just perfect.
I mean, we are used to sleep in a twin tent, so no, this is very cozy.
Now, one other final detail, one other detail. You mentioned you recently put lockers in it.
I did. So I have a friend that owns a junkyard of Toyota Toy Connection in Santa Clara.
Good friend.
Yeah, I buy them. Once a month I go down with a case of Sierra Nevada.
Very
That works. And he calls me and said, listen, somebody rolled an 80 with lockers. And I said, fine, just pull them out.
On my way.
I'm on my way, yeah.
Great.
And actually, I've been traveling for 30 years without lockers. I never got stuck.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't do extreme for the sake of extreme. When I want to get somewhere, it's because I want the seclusion or just the intimacy of the place. And so if it's a rough road, we'll take it. But I'm not taking a rough road just because it's a rough road.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's just me. I mean, some people enjoy doing the Rubicon because of the challenge.
Yeah.
I mean, I drove a Jeep in the Sinai Desert for 2 years. I had my challenges in minefields and stuff.
You're good.
Yeah, I'm good.
Done that. Awesome.
When doing this conversion to a camper, what I did is first we did the engine and drove it for about 4,000 miles.
Yeah.
Just to make sure that it's worth putting the extra effort. And it took about 6 months to build this on weekends, just weekend. And as I said, all I used is this material, a grinder and a welder, a MIG welder, and a good friend that owns a paint shop.
Well, so if people have questions, will you watch the comments on the video for a little while?
Absolutely.
Great, that'd be great. I know people would benefit from your experience and in building this rig. I just want to thank you for taking the time out on your Saturday and sharing this build with us.
My pleasure. And hey, as many people out there enjoying this wilderness, it's great. I mean, this country is huge. And that's one of the things that I really like about this country is that you could get in the car and drive. I spent 2 days in Death Valley 2 weekends ago. We saw one vehicle.
Yep.
And a lot of wild burros.
Okay, I'm going to cut to that picture right now. All right. Hey, thank you. Very much appreciated.
My pleasure.
Yeah,
my pleasure.
Thank you, Ofer, for taking the time on a Saturday to share this awesome build with us. We really appreciate it. You guys, of course, we like your subscribes. And if you really want to help us out, go on over to overlandbound.com. Consider becoming a member. That way we can see you out on the trail. All right, you guys, thanks for hanging out. Until next time, outfit and explore.